Stacey Abrams, she said she won for governor. By the way, we might have been better if she did win for governor of Georgia, if you want to know the truth. We might have had a better governor if she did win.
What does a Georgia special grand jury and Eliot Ness have in common? Apparently, they both always get their man. And this time, it's Governor Brian Kemp. But he gets to testify on his own timeline. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm legal analyst Adrienne Lawrence. The judge presiding over the Georgia special grand jury investigating Donald Trump's election interference just ordered that Governor Brian Kemp must testify over the governor's objections. Kemp had argued that he was protected under the doctrine of sovereign immunity and that the subpoena was issued for improper political purposes. As you may recall, the special grand jury investigation is being overseen by Fulton County DA Fani Willis, who is a Democrat. Well, the judge overseeing the matter disagreed with Kemp's arguments because, that whole sovereign immunity doctrine thing, well, it only applies to lawsuits against the state, and this is a criminal investigation. It does not apply here. And also, like other courts, the court here dismissed the political attack argument. But the judge was generous enough to rule that Kemp need not testify until after the November 8th election. He wrote this, per the New York Times. The governor is in the midst of a re-election campaign, and this criminal grand jury investigation should not be used by the district attorney, the governor's opponent, or the governor himself to influence the outcome of the election, the judge wrote. The sound and prudent course is to let the election proceed without further litigation or other activity concerning the governor's involvement in the special grand jury work. In this upcoming election, Kemp is running for a second term against the formidable Democratic candidate Stacey Abrams. And you know he's scared. Given the support that's out there for Abrams, and that as of last week, Kemp held less than a 5-point lead over his challenger.
So, Leader Abrams, Governor Kemp says the Fulton County DA is playing politics with this subpoena and is doing it to help your campaign. What do you say to him?
I think, once again, Brian Kemp wants to take credit, but doesn't want to take responsibility. He has coasted on this notion that he is an anti-Trump moderate, but we know that he has described himself as a Trump conservative, that he is seeking Donald Trump's endorsement for this race, that he welcomes it, and that this subpoena has been outstanding, or this request for him to testify has been ongoing for months.
The governor is likely afraid of Georgia's Trump supporters seeing him as a turncoat of their beloved former president and not casting votes in Kemp's favor. So, of course, trying to weasel out of the subpoena was his best option. But why subpoena him in the first place? Although Kemp is a staunch member of the GOP, it does not appear that he participated in Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. In fact, Kemp reportedly rebuffed Trump's olive branch, per the New York Times. Indeed, Mr. Kemp resisted a personal entreaty from Mr. Trump in December 2020 to convene the state legislature in order to appoint pro-Trump electors from Georgia, even though Joseph R. Biden, a Democrat, had won the popular vote in the state. The special grand jury likely wants Kemp to testify to Trump's efforts to recruit him to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. It also may wish for Kemp to speak to how the former president responded to the rejection. By declining to help overturn the 2020 election in Georgia, Mr. Kemp enraged Mr. Trump, who had endorsed him during his initial run for governor in 2018. This year, Mr. Trump backed an unsuccessful primary challenger, former U.S. Senator David Perdue. I'm sure the special grand jury will have oodles of questions to ask Mr. Kemp after November 8th, at which point I hope he's former Governor Kemp. You know, that's if Trump has anything to say about it. So between now and the election, do you think that the former president is going to amp up his attacks on Kemp as payback for the governor's refusal to help him steal the election? You let me know in the comments below, hit that like and follow button, and thanks for watching.